Hey guys, today we're going to talk about writing equations in vertex form, and we're going to do this when we are given the vertex of a parabola and one of the points that the parabola goes through besides the vertex. So for this we're going to need to use vertex form, which is y equals a times the quantity x minus h all squared plus k at the end. So we'll need this form. I will jump right into it. Our first one, we have the vertex of a parabola. So our vertex is 3, 2. And the parabola goes through the point 5, 14. And we want to write an equation for this parabola in vertex form. So let's see what we can do here. If we know the parts of vertex form, then we know this can be substituted in. And we'll have, we don't know what a is yet, but we know it's going to be in vertex form. It's going to be x minus your x here. So x minus 3 all squared, and then plus whatever your k is. So plus the 2. So since we know what the vertex is, we can substitute in what we know. And now we just need to find out what a is, and we'll have everything we need for vertex form. Now to find out what a is, we need to use this second point here. And since every point is x comma y, this is saying when x is equal to 5, the y value is 14. So let's go into this form and say when x is 5, y has to be 14. So y is going to be 14. We don't know a, but we know x is 5. So we'll put a 5 in for x. And now we can just solve the equation for a because that's the only variable left here. So 14 is equal to, well, 5 minus 3 is 2 squared is 4. So 4a plus 2, subtract your 2 from both sides, you get 12 is equal to 4a, so therefore a is equal to 3. And then all we have to do is bring this back to our equation over here in blue, and then our final equation will be y equals, well, now we know a is 3, and then x minus 3 all squared plus 2, and this is our equation in vertex form for the parabola that goes through the vertex 3, 2 and also goes through the point 5, 14. So we'll do a couple more of these, then we'll do one that goes into standard form as well. Just get some practice with them. So let's look at our next. Our next one, we have a vertex of a parabola. So the vertex is 0, -2, and we also go through the points. This is a random point on the parabola 12, -14, and we want to find the equation again in vertex form. So in vertex form we can substitute in what we know about the vertex. We don't know what a is. In parentheses it's going to be x minus 0, but your 0 or x minus 0 is just x. So it's going to be a times x squared, and then your k at the end is our minus 2. That's substituting into vertex form here. And you could rewrite this, since we're not doing anything in the parentheses, we could say it's a x squared. Just know that that squared is only for the x. And now we want to find out what a is, so then we'll have everything we need for the form. So we can substitute in what we know. Y is -14. That happens when x is 12. So when we have 12 squared, and then minus 2. And now we're just solving. Add 2 to both sides, you get -12. A times 12 squared is 144. Then you're dividing both sides by 144 to get your a, and -12 divided by 144 is -1/12. And then all we have to do is put everything together. So y is equal to -1/12. And then we're going to have times our x squared. Since the vertex happens where x is 0, we don't have that in parentheses. We do have the minus 2 at the end. So there we go in vertex form. All done. Let's do one more with vertex form, and then one where we're going to end up going to standard form at the end as well. Alright, so our next. This parabola has a vertex of -5, -4, -5, -4. And it also goes through the point where x is 14 and y is 297/16. That's a messy point, but I think it's going to work out nice for us. So first, let's substitute in the vertex that we know. Y is equal to a, and then x minus the x, so x minus -5 is x plus 5 squared, and then minus our y value, that's your k here. So all we need to do is figure out a, and we have vertex form just like that. So let's substitute in what we know. 297/16 is the value of y when our value of x is 14. So 14 plus 5 squared, all minus 4. So when we go ahead and, well, left side we're not going to simplify yet. But the right side, 14 plus 5 is 19 squared. We're going to end up with 361 times a minus our 4 here. So then go ahead and add 4 to both sides. When you add 4, you're going to have 297/16 plus, we want to have 4 represented over 16, so that would be plus 64/16. When you simplify over here, you end up with 361/16. Look at how that works out for us. Equals 361 times a, so you can divide by 361, or think of it like multiplying by 1 over 361, because they're going to cancel out. So a is going to be 1/16. And that brings us back over here. So y is going to be equal to, a is 1/16, and then x plus 5 all squared minus 4. There we are in vertex form for our parabola with the vertex, -5, 4. That goes through the point 14, 297/16. All right, our last one. Before you try some of these on your own. For this last one, we have a vertex of -1, -3. And we also go through the point -4, 15. And this one we want to write the equation in standard form. But we're still going to use vertex form because we know the vertex. That'll be the easiest path to go through. So let's go ahead and substitute in what we know. It's going to be x plus 1, since it's x minus -1. And then we're going to have the -3 at the end here. And we're going to go through the same process that we just went through. Our y is 15 when our x is -4. So we're going to put in a 15 for y, a -4 for x. When we go ahead and do this, we have -4 plus 1 is going to be -3. Squared is +9, so we'll have 9a here, minus 3. Add 3 to both sides, and then we should find out that a is equal to 2. So let's jump back over here. We now know a is equal to 2. And in vertex form, this is our parabola. But we are asked to give the equation in standard form. So whenever you're in vertex form, if you want to convert it into standard, all you have to do is evaluate here. We're just going to actually do x plus 1 squared. We'll simplify everything to be in our standard form of ax squared plus bx plus c. So here we have, I'm going to leave the 2 out in front for now. What happens when you do x plus 1, that quantity squared? Well, don't forget the middle term here. It's going to be x squared. You're going to have the 1 at the end because that's 1 squared. But don't forget that 2ab in the middle. So you're going to end up with 2x in the middle. If you forget how to do it, there was a pattern to memorize. If you forget the pattern, you could just FOIL out x plus 1 times x plus 1. But don't forget that middle term right here. And then we still have the -3 at the end. Now just distribute a 2. So 2x squared plus 4x plus 2. Let's make that neater. Plus 2 minus 3. So all we need to do is simplify. 2x squared plus 4x minus 1. And this is in standard form, like the question is asking for. So all of these are how we can write the equation of different parabolas if we know the vertex and a point that it goes through. So we have to know a vertex and a point that it goes through. There's other pieces of information you could be given, in which case we'll use different strategies. All right, so that's all for today. Have a nice day.